guys. I'm Josh. We usually don't stream talking points, but kind of late this week. Don't really have time to edit it. It's also going to be really short because I've had a I've had some voice problems the last couple of days, which is why I didn't pre-record. Um, so yeah. Anyway, last week the talking point was what was your favorite E3 moment, but E3 hadn't ended yet. It had just gotten started, so I couldn't give an accurate answer. So I'm going to start off this week with giving my answer. Also, I couldn't pick just one thing, so I narrowed it down to about three things that I feel were probably the big moments for me. So, in no particular order, I'm going to start off with Dead Rising 4. So, I'm a pretty decent fan of the Dead Rising series. I haven't really played all that much of 3, but I like it. I like the changes that were made to it. At first, I thought vehicles, it's a little corny, but it's not bad. But Dead Rising 4, you get to kind of take it old school and play as Frank West again. And it looks like the Willamette Mall from the first one as well. It takes place at Christmas time, which, is going to be hilarious. I kind of hope it's not just a straightforward remake, which I don't think it will be because they're numbering it 4. But if it is basically a reboot of the first one, I hope they add to it some. And if they could get rid of Carlito, that would be great, because Carlito's a dick. But Frank West is a badass. I like the first one. I could only imagine all of the Christmassy gadgets we're going to be able to construct and destroy motherfuckers with. Second thing was actually announced at last year's E3, but we got some gameplay this year, and that's South Park: The Fractured But Whole, and it looks great. The new battle system that kind of follows like a tabletop thing where you can actually move in the middle of battle, and where you decide to place your character has an effect on like how powerful your attacks are. It can weaken your defenses or increase them. Apparently, you can interact with objects in the middle of battle, like you can beat somebody and make them hit the wall, and they'll take additional damage. So all that's really cool. I like that they're parodying the whole Marvel Civil War thing. That's gonna be funny. The little bit of gameplay that we did get to see, the humor is definitely back. And it sounds like they are back on point. I know not many people agree with this, but the most recent season of South Park, the whole PC principle thing, to me it just wasn't really funny. I see where they were going with it, and it's nice that they were trying something different, but it wasn't as funny. It just wasn't. It didn't have that real South Park feel, and it looks like this is going back to the South Park feel and the humor, and I'm excited for it. And finally, of course, gotta have Resident Evil on here. So we got this trailer, and while it's playing, I'm thinking, this looks a lot like PT, which we know is the Silent Hills demo that got canceled a lot. Because the whole Hideo Kojima thing with Konami we know all the confusing ass shit that went down there. But then they were saying that Silent Hills is going to be back. But then Silent Hills is canceled again. And then it was coming back. And then it was canceled again. So then this comes on, and I'm thinking, hey, this looks a lot like PT. But that's supposed to be done. But it looks like they lied. And the whole thing plays out, and I'm like, okay, this looks great. If it's a Silent Hills game, that's cool. And then the VII fades in, Roman numeral for 7. And then a couple seconds later, the rest of Resident Evil fades in. So it's Resident Evil 7 with the subtitle Biohazard. So I don't know how I feel about that. Yes, I'm excited, because it's a Resident Evil game. It's Resident Evil 7. But, like I said, it had that PT look and feel. There was also a PlayStation VR demo called Kitchen, which apparently was the demo for the demo. Because right after the conference, they released a demo for Resident Evil 7 that wasn't VR, but it will be VR compatible when the full release is done. But in the demo, I'll try not to spoil a lot of it if you haven't played it, but in the demo, there's like a video, let's call it a surveillance video, and it's labeled Kitchen. So, that ties into Kitchen was the demo for the demo. It's still got a very PT Silent Hills feel and look to it. There's an incident where you encounter an enemy that has kind of a Resident Evil 4 feel. That's all I'm going to say, though. I won't spoil it. There are already several people with videos on YouTube. I don't have a PS4, so I couldn't play it, but I watched it. There are multiple endings to the demo, so you're going to have to watch multiple versions of it if you want to see every ending. I think as of right now, 4 endings have been discovered, which is pretty cool for, just a demo. But from there, they had the subtitle Biohazard. Now, if you don't know, in Japan, they don't call it Resident Evil, they call it Biohazard. So it's Biohazard, Biohazard 2, Biohazard Nemesis, etc., etc. So I'm wondering if that subtitle is going to, stick here, and it be Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, or if they just put the 7 in it for recognition purposes, and it's going to be Resident Evil Biohazard, and it's going to be like not necessarily a spin-off, but like a alternate universe reboot type thing, because we don't know the characters from any other games, at least none that I can think of. There are a couple of the spin-offs like Outbreak File 2 and the Game Boy one, I think it was called Gaiden. I didn't play those, so these could be character references from those games, or the characters from the demo might not have anything else to do with the full release of the game. This could just be like the intro level, and then, I don't know, Chris, Claire, Leon, whoever comes in to finish the job. But as of right now, we don't know where this ties in to the rest of the universe, so I don't know how I feel about it being called 7. I think I would prefer that they call it Resident Evil Biohazard and do the whole alternate reality reboot thing. Because it doesn't really feel like a Resident Evil game from what we've seen in the demo, other than there's a little piece here and a little piece there, but ultimately it doesn't feel like a Resident Evil game yet. But I'm still excited for it. Still gonna get it. That probably is my number one moment from E3. But moving on from there, like I said, this is going to be a short episode. Moving on from there, just want to point out that Summer Games Done Quick, or SGDQ, is coming up in just another couple of weeks. It's going to be from July 3rd to the 10th. It's going to be 24 hours, every day, just straight streaming all the way through. If you're not familiar with it, it is a charity speedrun event. A speedrun literally hundreds of games across 7 days. Like I said, 24-hour stream. They have a ton of games this year. One of the opening games is Super Mario Sunshine. They've got a few of the Mega Man X games in there. They've got a bunch of Disney games in there. Resident Evil 2's in there. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. If you've never watched a speed run, I highly encourage you to just check in every now and then on SGDQ, or go and check out the full schedule and find a game that you enjoy and just watch them obliterate it. One of the main three that I recommend for new people that have never watched speedruns to get into it, Super Mario World, those are always amazing. Super Mario 64, just any version of those speedruns will blow your mind. And if you've got 3 hours to be patient, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, in 3 hours, well, between 3 and 4 hours, just think about that. Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time being beaten between 3 and 4 hours. It like I said, it's fucking amazing. Anyway, link to their website will be in the description below. You can see the full schedule there. Like I said, there's hundreds of games. There's all kinds of special challenges. Like they do races. Like they'll have side-by-side game footage, and they'll race. They have I haven't looked at all of them, but in the past they've had a guy beat Super Mario 64 one-handed. Yeah, he did Nintendo 64 controller with one hand. They've got other ones where 2 people operate one controller. Those are really cool because that takes a lot of coordination. There's just all kinds of cool challenges. You really need to go check it out. Anyway, like I said, it's a charitable event, and this year they're raising money for Doctors Without Borders, which, if you don't know, doctors will travel to areas where there may or may not be hospitals, African countries, Asian countries, just basically anywhere where medical treatment is needed but can't be provided for whatever reason. Hospital got destroyed, natural disasters, whatever. Anyway, they go and they help where they can, and it's a non-profit organization, and if you could donate, please go to their website and donate. If not, at least check them out. Check out their merch deals too. That they've got a few companies that they go in with and give special sales, something artistic, That's actually what it's called, something artistic. Um, they do like custom video game decals and all that. They will bring their prices down, or say like this decal costs $5. They'll give $2 of that $5 to SGDQ. They also get Humble Bundle in with it, and you can get some games for super cheap during SGDQ too. So and all that benefits. So go check it out. Like I said, links in the description. It's July 3rd through the 10th. They stream live on Twitch, and it's just really cool to watch. And there's some sirens. Let's see. That's pretty much all I got as far as all that. So let's see. Let's go to answers for last week's talking point, which was, what was your favorite E3 moment? You know, I opened up with what mine were. So let's go to the fansers. Okay, those are some great fansers. Now for the teamsters, I think that's what Aaron calls it. Aaron said Quake. If you missed it, Bethesda opened their conference, which is this is the second year that Bethesda's had a standalone conference. They opened up with a new reboot. I guess it's a reboot of Quake called Quake Champions. Looks fucking amazing. So he's excited for that. I'm excited for that as well. As of right now, it's only coming to PC, so Aaron's gonna have to step his game up. But yeah, that's all we got from last week. So this week's talking point will be related to that short little discussion about SGDQ, and it is, what is your favorite unofficial challenge to do in a video game? And this can be like speed runs, Nuzlocke challenges in the Pokemon games, drunk gaming, basically any challenge that the game itself does not have programmed into it, where you have made specialized rules to make the game more interesting, harder, accomplish this or that, whatever. You know, for example, Nuzlocks are pretty popular in the Pokemon community, where I'm not familiar with all the rules, but I know one of the biggest rule is if your Pokemon faints in any battle, it's dead. So you have to release it. You know, once it faints, you can never use it again. I know there's some other rules, like there's some restrictions on catching certain Pokemon or catching multiple Pokemon. But there's a set of rules that somebody made up, and it caught on, and it's pretty popular in the Pokemon community, especially for Let's Players. Speedruns is another, unofficial challenge. Drunk gaming, we all do that. Those are just a few of them. I know there's tons of other homemade challenges out there, so make sure that you let us know in the comments below what your favorite unofficial homemade challenge is. And Aaron will be back hosting next week, I hope. And I'm going to save my answer for then. Yeah, this has been Talking Points. Remember to like, subscribe, force all your friends to watch our stuff, and remember, if you want to get your answer read on the show, to answer it in the YouTube comments below. Alright, thanks for watching, and yeah, keep talking. Let's stop.